The following poem continues the celebration of the northern version of historical events by a retelling of the Magna Charter. It's called Magna Charter. I'll tell of the Magna Charter as were signed at the Baron's command on the Runnymede Island in't middle at Thames by King John, as were known as Lackland. Some say it were wrong of the barons their will on the king so to thrust, but you'll see if you look at both sides of the case that they had to do something or bust. For John, from the moment they crowned him, started acting so cunning and sly. Being king, of course, he couldn't do any wrong, but by gum, he'd a proper good try. He'd squandered the ratepayers' money, all their cattle and corn did he take, till there wasn't a morsel of bread in the land, and folk had to manage on cake. The way he behaved to young Arthur went to show as his feelings was bad. He tried to get Hubert to poke out his eyes, which is no way to treat a young lad. It were all right in being a tyrant to vassals and folks of that class, but he tried his tricks with the barons and all, and that's where he made a faux pas. He started bombarding their castles and burning them over their head till there wasn't enough castles left to go round, and they had to sleep six in a bed. So they went to the king in a body, and their spokesman, Fitzwalter by name, he opened the hole in his helmet and said, conciliatory-like, "What's the game?" The king started to shilly and shally. He sits and he haws and he hums, till the barons in rage start gnashing their teeth, and them with no teeth gnash their gums. Said Fitz through his hole in his helmet, "It was you as put us in this plight." And the king, having nothing to say to this, here murmured, "Leave your address and I'll write." This angered the gallant Fitzwalter. He stamped on the floor with his foot, and was starting to give John a rare ticking off, when the hole in his helmet fell shut. "We'll get him a Magna Charter," said Fitz, when his face he had freed. Said the barons, "That's right, and if one's not enough, get a couple, and happen they'll breed." So they set about making a charter. When it finished, they'd got it drawn up. It looked like a paper on cattle disease, on the entries for Waterloo Cup. Next day, King John, all unsuspecting, and having the afternoon free, to Runnymede Island had taken a boat and were having some shrimps for his tea. He'd just pulled the head off a big un, and were pinching its tail with his thumb, when up comes a large load of barons, who said, "We thought you'd be here, so we've come." When they told him they'd brought Magna Charter, the king seemed to go kind of limp, but minding his manners, he took off his hat and said, "Thanks very much, have a shrimp." "You'd best sign at once," said Fitzwalter. "If you don't, I'll tell thee for a start, the next coronation will happen quite soon, and you won't be there to take part." So they spread charter out on tea table, and John signed his name like a lamb. His writing in places was sticky and thick through dipping his pen in the jam. And it's through that there Magna Charter, as was signed by the barons of old, that in England today we can do what we like, so long as we do what we're told.